Now, we finally had the announcement that Season of Discovery Phase 2 is coming on the 8th of February in just about a month, which means we've had around 2 months for Phase 1, which seems about right, and has fit a pretty decent widespread approach for all players who like to both take their time with levelling and exploring the world, or simply min-maxing and rushing all the content and preparing for the next phase. However, this video is focused more on those who want to take a chilled approach to Season of Discovery and not min-max, but also have some helpful tips for what you can do in the meantime for the rest of Phase 1, as well as some small prep tips for Phase 2, so if you want a more min-maxing guide, there is plenty out there, don't worry. However, as we gear up and head for level 40 and what's to come, we'll certainly be getting new runes, new gear, some interesting twists as well as a new raid. And finally, slow speed mounts to make those journeys seem just slightly less long. So firstly, Blizzard's teaser showed us Stranglethorn Vale, as it is likely where the majority of people will be heading for both leveling and a bit of world PvP. So if you're on a PvP server, let me tell you this place will absolutely be booming, and will likely be a bit of a hellhole, so go there at your own risk. It also seems that our new raid is going to be Nomaran or Nomagon, or however on earth you want to say it, which I suppose makes a lot of sense, as for a dungeon it was pretty massive in the first place, and does give off typical classic raid vibes, fighting bosses on large platforms as well as some funky characters. And as for the new runes, we're not sure what they are going to be yet, but we will get a lot of regular skills for classes from 25 to 40, which means for a few of you out there who might feel a bit underpowered, you might be getting a large power boost in Phase 2 for your class, if you've been missing some vital skills that you'd usually pick up around the level 30 mark. So there's much to be looking forward to. And of course, once again, level 40 blue mounts. Unless I've missed something that Blizzard has said about not getting mounts, this will be a lovely addition, as I mentioned. So for the next month, what is there still to do? Well, personally, I wouldn't suggest rushing anything or stockpiling quests to hand in, so you can bypass the leveling experience of 25 to 40, if they even allow that, so you can then complain that there is absolutely nothing to do in Phase 2. My first piece of advice would be just to experience what's left of Phase 1, if you haven't finished all of it, and then think about what you're excited for or what your aims of Phase 2 will be. For me, there's been far too much intensity for Phase 1, especially with BFD runs, asking for full consumes and will buffed groups, alongside DPS checks, and an IQ test. For, let me read my notes again, a level 25 raid? What? Now really, I've run BFD a bunch. There is one tricky boss in there, that being the second to last boss, and the rest is pretty easy as long as your group has some alright gear. Not even good gear, just alright gear. And I think everyone needs to relax a little and realise we're not level 60 yet. This isn't Mythic Retail WoW or Heroic Icecrown Citadel, and just enjoy the ride a little more. So what is there still to enjoy? Firstly, there's a few quests you can pick up for BFD if you haven't done it yet or just missed these. The first one being a quest in Oberdeen in Darkshore you can pick up just to defeat the first boss of BFD, Mr. Baron Water Monster. Return to the quest giver and he'll set up a helpful little portal from Oberdeen straight to BFD's entrance, which saves a lot of time. The second quest, also in Darkshore in Oberdeen, asks you to collect 8 brain stems that drop from the elites outside the BFD entrance, that you can lightly solo one at a time or go easily through with a friend. And this is a pretty decent quest if you're looking to gear up, as you don't need to be in the actual raid, so it's a great way to get a decent bit of loot, and it's fairly helpful for anyone who still needs a last piece of gear here or there, who just wants a quick boost in gearing up for BFD runs. There's also still Ashenvale and Warsong Gulch to be getting involved in, to get whatever reputation your faction has up to honoured, which will see you get a fair few pieces of gear from that vendor, such as a head, a neck, back and a ring item, all helpful for general Season of Discovery purposes, levelling in the next phase, or once again getting stuck into BFD. There's also the option of completing quests for gold and getting a little bit of a gold stack. Now once again heading into Phase 2, we will only be going from 25 to 40, so if you want to farm hundreds of gold at a time, feel free, but realistically I think a stack of 20 to 50 gold will be fine, just for general purposes, if you don't want to spend time taking up a lot of quests that you could be using in Phase 2, as you'll still naturally be earning a fair amount of gold when you do level from 25 to 40, so don't worry about it too much. Another idea is if you haven't yet, level up some professions. For example, skinning is pretty easy to get leveled and is an okay passive moneymaker when questing, or mining would be a great option to go for now, as there are far less people leveling up and it's easier to get those veins out and about. And finally, go for a few runs in BFD while it's still the current raid if you haven't yet. Like I said, a lot of the adverts for pugs might seem a bit intimidating for players who haven't run the raid yet, asking for 7 out of 7 experience, consumes and world buffs. But don't worry, they're just doing it a little over the top. You can likely find a guild that's running alt runs and jump in one of those, or just advertise in trade chat that you're looking for a chilled out run or a new player run. Trust me, these do exist. Or other players might ask if you want to form a group, so go ahead and just ask. There's also plenty of videos out there if you want to chalk up on some of the raid tactics before heading going in. And if you are wanting consumables to take in, at a minimum take some free action potions and some shadow damage protection potions, and you're pretty much all set. It's a fun raid, and having fun at the end of the day is all that matters, and that you get to experience it and have a bit of a laugh too, so best of luck. And that's about the rundown for now. We're getting level 40, new quests, lots of new abilities, new runes, and Nomaran, or Nomagon, however you want to say it, as a raid. And there's still plenty of things to do in Phase 1 for the next month. I think the main aim though is don't feel too pressured in getting ready for Phase 2. Rocking up on the day of release and enjoying it is how the content is meant to be enjoyed at the end of the day. But there's also no harm in enjoying what's left of Phase 1, or doing a few small things in preparation for the new phase, and then taking it as slow or as fast as you like, enjoying vanilla the way you want to. And remember, vanilla is always about the journey, not the endgame content, so once again, enjoy your time leveling, and then whatever is to come when you are level 40. So till then, let me know, are you excited for Phase 2 to come out, or what do you have left of Phase 1 to experience? As always, if you're new here, feel free to like and subscribe. And on that note, I think I'll say ta-ra for now, and I'll see you later.